Hello, welcome. People watching live or archived on YouTube. Yes, I'm going to start saying that again. Because it reinforces the idea that you should watch the archives on YouTube, not on Twitch. Which is what I would like you to do if you're watching the archives, or if you're watching live, even better. So hello Marquis. Yes, an hour early. The stream used to be at 9, but it got moved back because having another hour's time before proved to be valuable. Right. Kangafanga, hello. Albastro, hello. It's been too long. And then Kangafanga says, yay! Albastro, it's been too long. Kangafango, yay! It's been a long time. How have you been? I gotta agree with that, and I've been really, hello! Hello, favorite stickerer, Shadice. I see what you mean. Yeah, Kango! Right, so last time, did a bit of stuff back there. And now we started extending it this way. But I, of course, am referring to the map. And in today's stream, I want to make put the tracks along here and then design what the bridge going across is going to look like, because I want to have the other main line cross over the top. This main line won't have pretty much any drivable scenery. It's only meant to be seen from down here. So that's what I want to do. So that's what I'm probably going to do. Raise eyebrow. You cold? When you muted, I thought the stream died. Oh no! Fair assumption. I thought, that's one powerful cough. Well, it was more of a rasp, but still I didn't want it to clip the microphone, so that's why I quickly muted. Which I can do anytime I want to, so that's what I can do if I want to. So yeah, I'm going to quiz you later though, so be sure to remember what I just said. Right, so I think I'm just going to continue this straight on, and then we'll go from there. Now, do I want this to go, like, extremely straight, or do I want it to have a little bit of a kink in it? I think a little bit of a kink is going to be more fun than it going completely straight. Although I am going to make it go straight for another little stretch up until there, probably. Yes. I'm gonna tell you right now that you said rhubarb, 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 rhubarb. No, I didn't. If you go back and you read my lips, and that was only a half intentional reference, then you can tell that I did actually say something intelligible. Okay, now the end bit here, I'm going to have a little straighten section on. Yes, tracks, lovely, blinky. I'm going to need to extend this slightly because of stretching. You said, I hereby grant. No, I never said that. And I didn't even say it then. Read my lips. I can't pick that up. Yes, that's what the reference was to. So now, I want a bit of an S-curve. Bearing in mind that at this point, the trains are probably already going slower. Because, I mean, the speed limit coming into here is still 55, I think. So then slowing down to maybe 30 or something when you enter the junction, maybe even less than that, maybe 25 or something like that. Sounds reasonable to me. So what if I made this... What if I made that the approach? So you come down here, come around the curve. Maybe if I added another little straight section in here. I want to make sure that the curves are roughly of equal radius. That's actually, we have a radius tool. Show curve radius. 44, yeah, that goes up to 5. And how far does it go down? Okay, so that one does appear to be slightly... Okay, like that. With shot. Hey, no farms in the chat. S, sure is. Curve radius tool, what? You didn't secretly install TRS-22, did you? No, I did not secretly install TRS-22. Did you secretly install TRS-22? Oh wait, you couldn't tell me if you did. And then I do want crossovers. Because, well, going into the terminus, you have to be able to access every platform. Although that's not the section that I'm going to be building today, because, again, I do want to do research before building that. There's just approaching to where the junction begins that's going to head into the terminus. So the junction will begin here, and then the terminus will be back there somewhere. Which part are you knowing? The secrecy or TS22? Well, TS22 would be Train Simulator 22. TRS22 would be Trainz Railroad Simulator 2022. So, I mean, I'm assuming that you mean trains. Well, it's really up for you to decide what you think that I'm knowing. Elisabetta, hello, welcome. Wide awake, looking around. Alright, pedantic Peter. Well, one is for Microsoft only, for Microsoft Windows only. The other is also for Mac. I'm playing this on Mac, so therefore I'm assuming you mean one and not the other. Okay, so because of the way I've got this set up, the two right tracks go up that way, the two left tracks come down this way. So that means, as you're coming along here, if we imagine that we've got a whole bunch of tracks here for the platforms, those all need to come together to basically the 4 tracks that come out here, and then you'll need crossovers to get across every track, basically. That's what I'm at the moment thinking that it will roughly look like. And by it I mean, of course, the terminus junction. So I don't think we'll need... I mean, of course, I do want a Y as well to enable trains to turn around. And that should either... I'll want that to be... Well, it'll either have to be, from this point of view, behind the crossovers. Although, realistically, you'd want to have crossovers on both sides if you're coming in this way. you could go on the Y and then still go to any platform you want, or if you're coming out of a platform, you could still use the Y and then go to the correct side to go that way. So yeah, I think that will be good. Oh, is that where the prickly pear comes from? Oh, what? Concentrate on corner, the letter. The this. Oh, that. Huh. Interesting. Hi, Shredder. I don't know what's with the letter. She's been staring at that corner for about 10 minutes now. Maybe she's seeing Ghost Lady. That is always a possibility. Right, so for the main line crossing over the top, I probably want this to be double track. Probably. So I want this area back there to feel more, a bit more modern-ish. So I don't know if I want to use the same SAM bridges or if I want to go to concrete. By concrete, I mean like more modern-looking concrete. So if I use something like that, if this is the alignment we're going with, I will want there to be enough space for, although this does not look like a, although does it? Might. It looks a little too dirty for what I want. But anyway, I want the superliners to fit underneath it, even though I know they wouldn't be around in the time frame because Amtrak didn't even exist in this time frame, but I want them to be able to fit underneath for more modern sessions, which may be made or may not be made. So let's just get something in roughly. That is a little bit too low. How about 7 meters? 7 meters might be good. Uh, 7 meters, that's got a bit of space there. I think 7 meters fine. If you look through there, you can actually see the gap there quite well. If I turn the camera this way, you can see the gap through there. It looks a little close, but if you look at the scale, that's actually a substantial gap. Could it be the ghost of Dad that Villetta is saying? I don't know. I don't have such a ghost in my house, at least I don't believe I do. I think y'all might have a mice problem. I think it's smelling them through the walls. Oh, maybe risking the bridge to be cleaner. I don't know, 1, if I had permission, and 2, I don't really think I would want to do that. Just out of, I don't really think that I would enjoy that very much. Although in terms of asset creation, that train I started last year there's good progress being made. Not currently because I'm live streaming this, but yesterday I made good progress on it. Today I did other things. Okay. Let's have a look at concrete. Because there might be... I think I might have used an asset similar to what I'm looking for on another route that I don't have installed here currently. Now, so design-wise, I like this bridge better, even though it is still quite dirty underneath. I like this bridge a bit better, although the cobblestone doesn't exactly sell it, plus I don't know if it has traffic or not. Because I'm quickly going to look through these. Yeah, we've got these bridges. I don't need to go through any of the walls. Viaduct? Actually, that's a bit too wide. That's 3 tracks. But what would it look like? Ah, basically, okay. No, that's not what I need. I will also look through the track section for concrete. Those are just pillars, wall panels, no, fence, culvert, ceiling, cable, bridge. Here we go. Oh no, these all have roads already pre-built on them. Actually, what about this? I mean, asset-wise, this looks pretty much like what I wanted, but it doesn't actually have any supports. Although maybe, if it's short enough, I might be able to put in the supports myself. I'll move this out of the way. And then we'll see if I can find some abutments. Well, I should probably quickly look through the rest of this. Culverts, is it? Oh yes, I remember that clip. Okay, I wanted to have a quick look through the tracks menu to see if there might just be a good bridge that might be useful on its own. 7-meter height is what I put in, so that's what I'm going to put in here as well, just so that I've got the same value. Oh no, these are just the concrete tracks. Do you remember these old track assets where they had the 2 parallel tracks already pre-built into it? Okay, so this is a 2-track concrete bridge. Maybe. Although if I did use this one, I would have to increase the span so that it's got the supports at the correct interval. Although, look, the asset for the tracks that are on top updated at some point, and now the ballast is too wide for the bridge. I don't suppose that it'll automatically change the... No, it doesn't change the asset. That's unfortunate, which means I basically can't use this bridge, at least if I don't want that ballast clipping through. There's just tracks, tunnel, final tunnel. I've got more tracks. HOTT, then we've got concrete. Here we go, concrete bridge. That's, okay, I want the one without catenary. If possible. What does this look like? That looks like the sort of thing that I wanted. Let me just move this away a bit. Although I will still have to find... but this is a little... it's a bit too... that's a bit too narrow, I think. I'm not sure if that actually... Yeah, I don't think that that's wide enough to be able to fit all 4 tracks underneath it. Oh, that's really unfortunate. Although there is a version without the supports. So maybe if I use this and then manually just put some abutments on either side. Right. Rescan, if you're able to lie prone on the roof of a superliner and not get bridged, it's enough space. Do you see my 2214 one? Yeah, but I might not read them out I might not read them out immediately because, well, yesterday's stream didn't happen due to technical issues. The computer automatically starting the indexing process, which took far, far longer than I'd expected, even though I didn't start it, but well. So I don't really want to spend too much time reading chat. Okay, right. That's not really gonna do much. This one? Well, we've got this, which might well work as a transition to the terrain. Yeah, I think that'll work great. Although I will want to bring this in a little bit closer. Just about that. And I'll shorten the bridge a bit as well. Okay, something like that. I can shorten the abutments as well, if and when I need to. Just make that connect up there. Okay, something like that. And I think that as a bridge going across here, I actually think that looks quite good. Even though the height of the wall doesn't quite match the height of the fence, but I can't really do anything about that. Yeah, and the concrete beams, of course, extend into this further as well, so that it is actually supported as much as it should be. Okay, so now, how is this going to attach? Because, actually, tell you what, let's just make the line go across here. Which, yes, will just go straight because, well, it doesn't need to curve, basically. Well, she stopped. Seems confused. Maybe there's a sound that you can't hear. Okay, then extend it on this side as well. Probably chip around there. And I will probably end up putting portals on either side of this, just so that we can have automated automated random trains going across here for sessions, which I think might be quite nice. It's an approaching thunderstorm. Run! Now she just flew over me and began to pull my finger. That's a way of telling me to follow her. Ah, I hope nobody's trying to break into your house. Okay, I'll just align the terrain like that. And then, actually, before we do that, I forgot I need to still update these baseboards to be 5-meter grid size. That should be quite important, I think. Something like that. That one needs to be updated. This one is already, but that's good. I think that one is fine because it's just out in the background. No thank you, you cannot offer this anymore because you have been banned. Right. Now, change the height. Now we'll use the brush to lower it down over here. Just something like that. Wait, I want that! Oh no, I hope that bot wasn't one of your BFFs too. Ha 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 ha. Laughing, slowly merging into crying. Aww. Okay, let's just smoothen this out a tiny bit. She led me to the window. Oh, what a lovely window it is. I've already lost Jamie today. Why do you want me to be friendless? I mean, clearly it's some sort of gaslighting scheme. It's pretty dark, so I'll use my night vision to see what she sees. So you don't have natural dark vision like most of the species in D&D 5th edition. What a lovely morning. Yes, indeed. Okay, so next I want to see how should this connect, because you would want a connection down into the terminus. If this is a main line, you will want trains to go up and down here, pretty much. So I think having fairly steep grades on this is fine, maybe negative 2%. So if I started up there and then went down, actually no, I don't want it to connect. I think somewhere like this should be fine. And then have it curve and go down ground like that. Now that is actually too far. So I will just quickly remove the gradient from that spline point. Ever so slightly increase that one. Maybe 1.7? How would that look? Negative 1.7 if I apply that over here. And over there. And there with that. Okay, that'll still go underground 1.6. Yeah, 1.6 seems to get us down here just fine. So I do want this to be... Actually, tell you what. I should probably extend our main line a little bit further. Considering that it will have to come onto this alignment. And then I can shift over our approach on the left to come in parallel to this, and then we'll have a crossover, because I am just going to have one track going onto that direction from the terminus. And then we'll have a crossover to get up onto the other side. And actually, now that I'm looking at this, what would it look like? Let's just put in a gradient of 1.65. Actually, no, let's get rid of that first, and then what would it look like if I just had it branch off like that? And a little straight section there. Maybe go up to 2% actually. Would this make it up to... Actually, yeah, if I did that, I think that'll work quite nicely. So that comes up to... Let me just set the actual height to 7 meters up here. And then to be able to keep the terrain looking somewhat pleasant, it does have to keep a little bit of a gap. And then let's just make this curve look a little bit smoother. Just like that, I think, would be good. Does this angle still work? Yes, and the Saxon too, that's great. Let me just quickly change the default position of this. No, I don't want that. I just want to change the default position of the switch, even though I know I need to replace it anyway. Let's read a quick bit of chat. Gas bill too expensive. We're now microwaving now. Well, I hope that your food doesn't intoxicate you too much. Well, it seems there is another barn owl in a branch in the tree in my backyard. But BFFs need to be able to deal with stuff like that. Its eyes are shining in my night vision goggles. Ooh. Normally, yes, but I was set up on a high pedestal with the vessel in combat. Pedestal? Shoo me that pedestal. Oh, shame. It's just got fire. Oi. Well, call the fire brigade this instant. She seems to really want to go outside, so let me just quickly let her out. I have nothing to... I have no issue. It's a Sunday off. Call the volunteers fire team then. I'm sure that one has a volunteer. Also, you seem to be awfully cheery about your burning so-called pedestal. Oh no, barn owl fight. Repeat, barn owl fight. Oh no. Right, that's enough of that. I've been knocked off it, so... not mine anymore. Wait, then why is it still in your house? Well, I suppose it won't be in your house in a little while if it continues to burn down your house. Then why is your username engraved on it? Buster 1961. Ashes from the fire. Sounds quite a deep comment, I think. Okay, now this... I think I'm going to just make this come in there. That should be fine. Although... I do need to put in a spline point there. So, or somewhere along here at least. So that the points are on the same level that they're supposed to be. That needs to be on 7. And then I can position that so that the curve actually works a bit better. Something like so, I think. Good. Then we will need a crossover there as well, but I don't need to make that at the moment. Right. So we'll have the crossovers I mentioned before down here. So as you're leaving the terminus, you can cross over onto the left and go up onto this on-ramp, for lack of a better word. Though let me just quickly fix the terrain up here with a little bit of a bigger brush. Okay, something like this-ish. Like that. Good. So that's finishes serving that line. Now, do I want the same thing mirrored onto the right side as well? Ideally, yes, because then trains coming out of terminus can go either way. Trains coming into the terminus can also go either way. So I think I'm going to mirror that onto the right side, and then I don't know if I want to do the same coming down this way or not. Although I suppose if I'm going to have a Y back here anyway, then any train that wants to go down that way, as long as it isn't too... actually, I suppose, yeah, as long as it isn't too long, could just use the Y down there. I suppose that'll work for passenger stuff, definitely. It's just freight stuff. If freight trains want to come from up here down, go down that way to the yard, that is going to be a bit more difficult. Oh! Return to our perch, so that's that. Okay. Yes, good night, bye-bye. Oh, for you it's already gone midnight. Right. So yeah, I'll have to think about that for a bit more. In the fields, I'm going to include it in my novel, which is now a novella. Not because it's short, but because it sounds prettier. Well, seems like the other owl was wise enough to not pick a fight with the letter. Flew off at the first screech. Oh, so God, what chapter are you on? Also, are you including this conversation yet? 294. Oh, in the footnotes. Out of how many planned? Until I ran out of things to say. Which seems to be never. Well, can't really argue with that. Even if I were to get a word in. The footnote Jean. Now that's the name of a horror novella, if I've ever heard one. Well, in that case, Paradise MVR is going to be finished beforehand. True. Right. Oh, Sheriff Khan, hello, welcome. Sorry about yesterday. Technical issues meant basically the computer automatically started indexing the whole 3 terabyte hard disk, and that took hours and hours and hours. And it did that automatically after restarting, so that's why I couldn't stream, unfortunately. But where now? Why didn't it quote OMG? I don't know. Right. Ha ha ha. There we go. Hello, yes, welcome. So, I mean, ideally, if the railroad, has the land, you would just have the 4 on/off ramps, basically, so that you could come from any of these angles and get onto any of these lines. And that might be what I do, because for one thing, I think it would be realistic if you've got this big of an interchange to have that. And 2, well, it uses up a significant portion of this land, which means that you won't really have much of any buildings in here, and so that might be quite good. Although, would it be really that interesting? Thinking about it. Yeah, I think so. If you imagine coming along here and then having either having a freight train coming down this way or having to wait here for a freight train to go over, or if you're coming this way, you can see another freight train coming up onto that. That might be quite nice. Anyway, I'm going to make the mirror on the right here first, and then we'll see how that looks and if I want to go ahead with the plan. Okay, let's now just copy and paste the height point, like the height of the spline points. Also, we might need more crossovers yet, because if I do have the... Is that the spline point I wanted to set the height of? No, it's this one, I think. Yeah. Yeah, because if I do have... Hold on, I need to quickly fix this. One moment. Something like that, I think. Although this, I think this angle just needs to be fixed slightly, like that. Or maybe move this in just a little bit as well. Ish. Yeah, that looks okay. Anyway, yeah, if I do have the lines connecting to the right there as well to the main line, then since these are going to service trains both coming onto and off of the line from that direction, I might, well, I would have to put in another, yeah, I'd probably have to put in another set of crossovers, really, because you could use these ones. So say you wanted to turn left onto the second main line. So you're on the right, then you'd have to cross over here and go in the wrong direction all the way along here, all the way along here, still all the way along here, until you sometime over here cross over and start going up there. Yeah, we would have to have another set of crossovers here. Maybe even two. Although, do I really need the on-ramps, for lack of a better word again, from both sides? Because if I think about how this probably connects, like, off the map, we've got the double track main line going off this way, off the side there. We've got this main line coming from over here. So this probably connects back up over here anyway. So you've got a main line going that way, main line going down this way. In which case, most of the non-local freight trains would be coming along here if they wanted to go to the yard anyway. Which means you'd only have local stuff going down there, and local stuff can probably just use the Y to turn around and then go into the yard. It's when the main line comes from down here that you'd want a direct access to the yard and going back up this way. Which means that I think, I mean, with passenger stuff, having like direct access in both directions is really useful, but I think I would probably get away with having just one on/off ramp thing in this direction. Yeah, I don't think I need it in the other one. Also, I think I am going to connect this in here first and then put in the other spline point. That way it'll be easier to recognize where it needs to go. Okay, that seems reasonable. I will quickly double check. Ooh, that... Hold on, I need to fix the height of this particular spline point, just so that it... Actually, that still didn't work. Why didn't that work? Maybe this one? Come on, you've got both spline points fixed height now. If I put in a... Why does that not keep it as a fixed height spline point? Hold on. Does this now fix it? Yes, there we go. What sort of grade do we get here? .5. Ooh, 2.7. That's almost 3% grade up there. That's not exactly what I want. Let's just try a 2% grade from here. And then we've got a tiny little bit of a steeper bit going up that way. What about over here then? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. Ooh, that's not good either. Maybe I need to extend this a bit. Yes, like that. And then just have that margin sort of there. Then we'll need a spline point there so that it's actually flat when it comes over. Which means I've got to redo this a little bit. It's not too bad. At least not officially. Right, let's save. Buster 916, would you rather be... No, come on, now you're starting with that, Kango. I think you and Buster have been spending too many weekends together. Would you rather be an elastic mop or a batter-powered screwdriver? Don't stoop to my level, Kango. What you mean is, don't infringe on my commenting style. Oh, electric, not elastic. Let me have a think. Well, now that Kango has sufficiently distracted you, I'll continue working on the map. Actually, this bit isn't straightened, is it? Oh, there we go. Don't infringe on my turf. I think it has to be the electric mop. Everything about it is just iconic. Although that, I'm not too thrilled about how that curve looks. Maybe something more like that would be better. Not ideal, but it'll have to do. I think that is me, my true, authentic self. Thank you for participating in the survey. Always. Well, there you go. Right, so now we need, well, a little bit of a flatter bit of terrain there for starters. But also crossovers. So how long did I say they were? Well, how long are these ones? These ones are higher speed than the other ones, so maybe we can shorten the other ones a bit as well. Or maybe, I don't know, right, just under 200, basically 200 feet. Which means going over to there, and then Hmm. 200 feet to there. Well, that's... Do we need that, actually? Because... Actually, yeah, we do. I was thinking maybe we could directly link from the leftmost one to the rightmost one and not even have switches for the middle two. And that might work. However, if this is utilized for freight, then would it go in the middle or would it go on the outside? I mean, the middle would be for, well, faster for express trains leaving the terminus, so that they don't, that they're not stuck behind commuters in the stations, which would be good for freight as well. But freight is probably slower, and so that might slow down expresses, which means maybe not too ideal in that case. But thinking about it, we do have that other crossover back there by the station, which means we could just cross over from here all the way. Ooh, I do not want to grade here. All the way to there. Which, yes, does create a bit of a sharpish curve. But it might actually be fine. Although we might even be able to put in some, like a double slip situation here. Let's try that. Maybe that'll work. Which means I'll need a little bit of a straight piece there. And yeah, I'll probably have to use the invisible signals or something along here. Although that looks a little bit messy. That point right there. Yeah, because the angle is maybe a little bit shallow for this. Although I suppose you could make that work. Let's see if I can get a bit of a better angle on this. So it would have to start a little bit further back. Maybe from there. And come over to maybe this point. perhaps? Yeah, that looks better. Now the actual crossing over points are separated a bit, which means you could actually make it work a bit more easily. Although that is now a bit wobbly. Hold on. There we go. Now I just need to replace these with invisible ones, because in reality they would be controlled by a signal box or something like that. So there's no real reason behind having them like this anyway. Although I'm not entirely sure what all of these junctions are actually, what points they are actually attached to. Ooh, actually no, this one's probably attached to the back of there, would be my guess. So over here. Ah, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so now, actually, let's have a quick look at these junctions. Are we sure that these aren't too sharp? Actually, no, that seems reasonable. So now, if there's a train coming this way, it wants to go over onto that main line in that way, you can just cross over. There's a train coming from over here. It can cross over onto the left over here. Well, it will be able to once I put in the crossover. Then go down here. And then it can cross over onto either one of the right tracks. It should go along here. And then bypass any potential trains in the station, go on along back there. Or it can cross back over onto the left and go down into the yard. Okay, I seem to be quite happy here with this, because it seems to be quite good. Although, hold on. Invis. Lever invisible. No, I want the one in the middle. That one, yes. Just because it's a bit easier to handle. Also, where is the spline point? Oh, the spline point's all the way back there for this one. Maybe I can just move this a little bit closer. Maybe like there. Maybe even a little bit more. Because that was quite a bit too distant. And then okay, that looks fairly good. Right. Save, I'm saving. But I do love that question a lot, right? Okay. Yes. Always. Frogs? Well, the entire area here doesn't have frogs yet, including the yard and the industrial district, and so that's a pass that I'll do at the end. Not there to the end of the stream, but after building the scenery along here and the terminus. Same thing with speed signs as well. Okay, so I think that works pretty well here. I'm now quickly going to extend this a bit so I can have the crossovers, and then might as well add the portals while we're at it. We've got enough space over here. Okay, okay, here we'll need probably a diamond crossover. Would work quite well. Now it's time to use the portals. Well, to place them, not use them, because using them would imply that we are actually going to consume or produce trains with them, which is not something we're currently doing. Although maybe I should use the short versions instead. Yeah, I think these ones would look better. If they load it in properly. And that's fine. So 36.7. Come on, load a little bit faster. Three 6.8 should be fine. Oh, 6.3, not 3.6. Okay, there we go. Now just 2 more on the other side. That is a bit faster with updating, I mean. Right, now, what about roads? No, not the city, but the infrastructure. I knew you were gonna make that joke. So the city is getting denser and denser the further over we go, which means actually hold on. I'm just going to quickly place some of these buildings around. Just to give a bit of an idea of what this area might look like. And thus, the train simulator payware route is finished. No, I'm joking. I'm joking, of course. But some of the buildings in the distance on those routes do definitely look like they've been placed like this, which at a distance is fine, but it was just a joke. Mostly. Right, so something like that, building-wise. I did think of it right when you said it, but only typed it when you had already said, no, not the city. Right, so this means that we basically roads going everywhere. So we would have, well, we'd have a road crossing over here, probably going over the top. So now, should I use... Should I use this spline for the bridge? Because I can't have the painted textures going over the bridge. And if I want the road to go over the bridge and not under the railway, I will have to do that, basically. I will have to use a spline. So let's just have a quick look at what that would look like. So let me quickly grab the road asset from over here. Come on. What's this one? I think might still need a support or not. I don't know. There we go, the bridge. Yeah, I get what you mean. Charlotte! Wait, you're telepathic with me too? They do like to just put a tree and a house in an asset group and just make it span the entire city. Yeah, but that does make sense. Okay, so... how about... Okay, this will actually have to be a little bit higher up because... well... it's got the girders underneath. Yeah. Maybe another meter? No, more than that. Another half meter? Yeah, that seems fine. And actually, tell you what, let's just quickly double check that we've got clearance over here still. Yes, we actually do, even though that is quite narrow. We do actually still have clearance. Good. Oh, that's true. Kinda. I didn't think you'd find out this quickly, but, well, I guess the cat's out of the bag now, though. I suppose, let's hope this distraction maneuver works. Cat, where? Whispers Silent. Phew. I saw a cat today. Construction site. Maybe. And it was friendly. Good. Oh, so quite a few canines today. I was thinking canids, but no, canines. Oh, dogs. Do I have clearance, Clarence? Roger, over. Yeah. Okay, I do think that this looks good here. So we'll have that bridge there. And then, well, how long did we say each of the blocks was? How many feet? So from middle of intersection to middle of intersection. Roughly, right, roughly 512. We don't need this ruler anymore. Off with its rulerness. And then, so if I take that as the base length of a block, then, I mean, if we did have a bridge for everyone, we'd have another bridge there, but that seems a little bit too close together. So instead, if we went straight across, then that would be where the next one went. And that seems a bit more reasonable. So let's put another one across there. What do you mean, Explain, Can go. Even though back here, the distance is a lot greater between, because we've got one crossing point here, and then we've got this whole stretch going back there, and we do have the station where we can cross by foot, but then nothing more after that. So I think so before we head down the slope, I do think we'll want to have an underpass. Probably like here might be good. So that we've actually got a way to get across. So something like that. Actually, here's the thing I should do. I should paint the ballast underneath so that I can actually see the tracks when they're out of the lodding distance. You said, Roger, over. Eh? Well. Yes, I do get what you mean. Okay, now just go along here. Oh, I need to fix that bit. That terrain is clipping over a little bit too much. Just a little bit though. Can you be pressing the button, rotating the texture periodically? The reason why I'm not holding it down again is so that I do actually get a little bit of non-blurred texture between these. If you hold it down, it does twirl the texture and get rid of the repeating patterns, but it does also blur it quite a bit. Clock, it's spinning backwards. Texture 12. Alright, that, yes. Yeah, I can see what you mean. And just down the middle, because that might not have been inside the brush radius, but this won't take very long. There we go. Now just these bits along here. Actually, let's do the second main line first up here. Which shouldn't be too difficult considering it's just going straight. That's fine. Finally done enough work for today. I've got even more to do tomorrow, and I'll be home some 4 or 5 hours later than normal, so don't expect a bouncy me tomorrow. Well, anything that works for you. I don't think that I followed this as well as I could have done with a brush. I need to update a few of the spots here. A little bit. Congratulations though, thanks. I hope tomorrow will go as well as it can for you. Me too, thanks. There you go, thanking yourself again, which I suppose isn't the worst thing to do. Oh, sorry, that was a comma, not a colon. There we go, now we can actually see what the track layout looks like because of all the low loading of this track. Right. Fun/disturbing fact. Yarn is the non-animal equivalent of dead snakes. I see what you mean. I was working from 5 until 1 a.m. on Saturday, just so I could get done today. Ah, well, I mean, if you think that the time is spent worthwhile, like that you're spending the time doing something worthwhile, whether that is because you actually enjoy what you're doing or because it's the only way you can pay your bills, then, well, you've spent your time worthwhile. Although paying your bills might not be the only thing that you should strive for. Although it might be the necessary thing to do. Oh, Willis, are you here? Kango tags you in chat, so maybe you are, maybe you aren't. I'm not entirely sure. I can't see you in the list, so I don't know. Oh, that's true. You remember that? No. Should I? Yes, years ago. Normally I'm a tiny bit more effective with spreading my workload, but I've been busy this weekend, so hadn't done it very well. On Discord I DM'd you the DM message link. I'm sure that makes sense to someone. Now, the next question is, how are we getting this road down? Well, was this gone apparently? Well, I mean, it's good to hear a bit from Willis, so that's good. Hold on, there's a video link there. I can't really click on that because that'll download it, and I can't really watch that now. Hope Willis is okay too. Yeah, I mean, according to Kango, Willis was just in chat briefly, so I mean, that's a good sign. Okay, I am just going to use these roads for the time being, so I can align the train height. Now, do I want... I suppose it would probably make the most sense to do this how they do it with highways, where you have the intersection there, and then you've got the road coming down either side, or coming up either side, I suppose. Well, actually, let me quickly remove these two spline points. So it'd be like this. It comes up, and then goes back down on either side. That seems fairly equal on both sides. And it does look quite steep, although the approaches to like highway interchanges which crosses over in America are also really quite steep. Okay, what if I put another similar looking thing on the other side? Okay, let's just quickly apply the train height from these other ones. Well, let's apply and point height to these other ones to these ones. Save. Oh, hold on a moment. Not right now. Not right this instant, but in a moment. Save. Okay, now what would it look like with an applied terrain height? Actually that looks pretty good, I think. Although, is this really going to be the main road? I don't think it would be. I think that you'd have an intersection here where you could cross over and then come up and cross over the bridge and then come back down on whichever way you want to go. Ooh, that one's not right. Hold on. Yeah, that's supposed to go down low like that. Ooh, that's not what I wanted. Double click to undo. That's annoying. Why does Trainz do that? Why does it not allow you to reverse this? Although I think that was how it was. I think that's good. I need to quickly fix this bit. Ooh, and this bit over here. I'll probably make this fixed height as well, just because it doesn't actually need to be non-fixed height. Or I suppose dynamic height would be a better descriptor. So where would the main road go then? Because I don't think it would go up and down the hill like this. Especially since you would have buildings along it, and it wouldn't make sense to build up all of that height just so that it could go up and over like that. So let me just quickly grab some sort of 4-lane road. That's not a 4-lane road. L4. Well, it's a bridge, but it'll do. Because we've got the 4-lane road from down here on this side. So if you imagine this continues alongside to the tracks, well, beside the tracks, then maybe this should just go alongside like that. And then since the other road would have to go down and come up here anyway, I mean, we might as well have 2 intersections there. Then we'd have it go down there anyway, and then this connect up like that, I would assume. Now, where does this road go from here? Well, ideally, it would continue over here and then connect up to there at some point, because I do want this to actually go over to where the terminus is. But how are we going to get across there? Well, I think it's quite clear that either I'm going to use a bridge. Let's just see what kind of clearance we would need. If I put... Actually, which one is taller, the superliner or the double stack well cars? Ooh, these ones, definitely the double stack well cars. Because this is actually supposed to have freight going underneath it, and actually, yeah, that's a good point, because this over here, yeah, that probably needs to go up a bit more. Because even though for the last bridge, it's only passenger stuff going underneath, this is supposed to support double stacks going under. So yeah, this does need to be higher. 9 meters perhaps? No, that's still not enough. 9.5. How does that look? That actually does give us a little bit of clearance. Clarence. Which means I'll have to redo this little bit. Just with the terrain. What do you mean told ya? Double stack well cars. Well, oh, you mean taller. Yeah. Save. Okay, so to have these double... actually, tell you what. I'll move this over here. And I'll put one over here as well. Just to see what a bridge would look like here. At first, when you used the superliners as a height reference, it did strike me as unusual, but I just figured well cars likely would travel back here. Yeah, I mean, well cars wouldn't travel back that way because that's only where the terminal, passenger terminal is. But well cars going from the main line down to the yard, that seems much more reasonable. Right, so let's just move this down, just so that we've got a little bit of clearance left over here. And yes, I'm just going to use a well car over here for symmetry's sake. Okay, so this should... well, yeah, that still has a bit of clearance. I can maybe move this down a little tiny bit. Okay, that's got clearance. That, however, if it if it has got clearance, then it's too little to actually notice. Actually, that still doesn't have clearance. That's a bit too much clearance now. Hold on. Alright, it's not updating in real time. Yeah, okay, there we go. Okay, so now these two have got clearance on the other side for the well cars. Even though, yes, I know they would only need it on the right and on the left for the superliners. This one, however, I don't think has clearance. So if we did use a bridge, it would have to be higher up in the middle. Which could work, So it would have to be something like this. So you can look down through there. And then so does that. Okay. Now with supports, how does that look? I mean, if we imagine there being supports along here, that actually doesn't look too bad. I mean, America is known for its really quite large highway intersections and bridges. And I suppose it might give a bit more interesting dimension to this area. The other option I was thinking of is putting in a tunnel, which might actually be a bit less expensive. I don't know. But this, although this doesn't have a sidewalk, which means, yeah, because this here definitely is at least somewhat pedestrian friendly, as pedestrian friendly as jaywalking can be. But there are sidewalks along here, and zebra crossing and on some places as well over here. So then if this could, say you wanted to walk from here over to the station, you're walking along all this way along here. So then you get to this point, and then, well, then what? I suppose maybe I could have another underpass over here, and maybe even another one over here or something like that. And then if you're walking, you just have to make a detour to walk across this way and then across there. Or maybe I can even put it in a little bit closer, like here, if I make it go down a bit further. Although that would be a bit of a difficult bridge to make for the tracks. Interesting. I can interstate intersections. Yes. Would there be a suitable tunnel? I don't know. I think there were some assets. Are we boring you? I mean, no, it's fine. Just a bit tired. I mean, this is an interesting tunnel asset, but not wide enough. Highway tunnel, 4-lane. I mean, there is this asset, which I think, is this the San Francisco asset, maybe? That might work. Although it looks like the entrance might be in... Yeah, it's in 45-degree angles. Come on, update, please. There we go. So... I would have to put in a spline point over here somewhere. Create a curve like this. And then it would have to go down into the ground a bit. So just something like that. And then you'd have the road connect down there. Does this road actually connect down there? It does, but it changed the height. Hold on. Let's just quickly double check. Oh, I can't actually do that because it's the bridge, not a road. I mean, it does look good, the asset, but it looks more like something you'd find going underneath a river or something like that. Come on, assets, load in. No, that's Colorado, isn't it? Wyoming, based of it anyway. Montana, Wyoming, I think. 2 future tunnel thing. But is this based on real life mountain tunnel that I believe it's located in Colorado. Or near Colorado anyway. Either in or near. It's an ATS. Yes, that tunnel. That tunnel? Hold on, did I look through? Okay, yes. Oh, London Underground, LU. Salt Ash Tunnel. One of Marquis' assets, I believe. Nope, not yours? Interesting. In that case, someone else made a salt ash tunnel. I assumed that because of, well, where your Cornish Railways route is located might be yours, but apparently not. Okay, so I think it's going to be a bridge, but I do need to now have a look at the supports. JJSLLL 54s apparently. I see. Interesting. I wonder what route that was made for. That one might work. Might. Although that one looks a bit more promising. But the pivot is annoyingly offset. Yeah, it does look a little bit large, I think. Although, maybe. Like, it looks a little too wide. It's all footbridge stuff. Cable car pylon. Not exactly what I'm looking for. Maybe if I put a couple of them next to each other. They also built the original Royal Albert Bridge asset back in 2003. I guess someone else also built a Plymouth-based route then, I guess, even though I don't think I've ever heard of it. Don't think that looks too good, the huge bridge going over, but I'm not sure what it looked like finished. I mean, what else do you recommend then? Considering that in the USA you do tend to get a lot of especially wide bridges like this, like 4-lane roads going over. Roll Albert bridge supports. Interesting. Ah, maybe something like that. That one if it were a bit lighter. Ah, that one. That looks promising. Different tunnel? I didn't find any different ones that fit 4 lanes. Then I made a high detailed roll Albert bridge model in 2020. Yeah, I think I've seen screenshots of it. It looks very good. Ooh, or that one maybe, although that one's too wide. Ooh, this might be just the thing I'm looking for. Does this have actually more height? It does. Ah, I think that is the one I'm going to use, probably. Yeah, let's have a let's align it first of all. Though it seems pretty well aligned as it is. And shall we do it with rulers? Maybe. Let's try. Yes, I know, we've been trying for thousands of years, but it might work one of these days. Maybe, hold on. If we just cut this into smaller pieces, might work. Although, that's 280 feet, that's 300 feet, so that's a little bit more on that side. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm just going to place it by eye. Yeah. Rotate 152.6. I never know with these if it's supposed to, if the steel girders are supposed to sit on top of the support or if they're supposed to be embedded in it like that. I never know which one it's supposed to be. Does that actually look good like this, or I think it might look better if it's just sitting on top. Like that, maybe? Does that actually... Although that... no. I don't know. Could we actually maybe fit one in between these? The answer is probably yes, if I move the tracks apart a little bit on this spot. Because even though, although is that enough clearance? That might just be enough clearance, thinking about it. Yeah, because if we look here, there is actually space there. Over on this side, there is still space there. I think that is actually enough clearance, surprisingly. In which case, I would be able to move these ones out a bit further. To about there, probably. And this one over as well. Right, chat. You've driven over it in that HST session, which took about 3 hours. Oh, right, I remember. Oh, right, yeah. Sure, I think I found the huge tunnel you placed down earlier. Eisenhower Johnson Memorial Tunnel, Colorado. Well, it looks similar. It doesn't look identical. The one that I had placed down had other buildings on the back and like a chimney or something like that. It looks very similar, but I don't think it's the same. It's the same one. Yeah, I thought so too. Looks great. So this is the final section. But what needs to be done after this before release, apart from testing of force? Well, so after I've built this section here, and then the terminus, I need to go over and update some bits of the scenery. So I don't know if I'll do that on stream or just on my own time. Like, for example, over here, I need to finish putting down like trees and stuff by the rivers, which I started doing over here, and it's a vast improvement. But as you can see, I still need to do that on some of the rivers going back this way, for example. And then there's also putting down some more 3D assets in some of the areas, like, for example, where is it? Over here along the forest edge. You can see there are no speed tree bushes whatsoever along there. And I think that that does actually stand out a bit now that I've been playing Tiers 19 for a bit longer and I've gotten a bit more experience. So going along the edges of the forest and placing down some 3D bushes, making sure that all the areas actually have frogs and like crossing, like diamond check rails, double checking all the signaling, making sure that all the grade crossings work, and basically just stuff like that. And then after I've done that, it's time to make the sessions. So actually put in the gameplay stuff, which players will then be able to, like the scenarios players will be able to drive, which also, by the way, includes making my own fictional repaints for the railroad, which I am actually looking forward to. Although I hope I'll find enough locomotives that I can get permission to reskin, because I know that Grammar made a whole bunch of reskins, which was on their own prerogative. I did not incentivize that whatsoever. They just saw the series and decided to go make a whole bunch of reskins, which I do appreciate a lot. And I'm probably going to use some of that, like, either as AI trains or maybe even as some of the normal trains. I don't know. I like the player trains is what I meant. But that isn't, the colors, although they work well together, isn't what I had imagined for the MVR. So I do still want to make my own livery. So, right. Then after I've made those sessions, actually between then and there, probably before I make the sessions, or maybe while I'm making the sessions, I do need to have a look through all the dependencies of the root and see if there are any that, even though they're not listed as payware, are still packaged in a way that wouldn't be available for other users. Although maybe I'm going to do that when I submit it to the TCCP, because then if there are any assets that have conflicts, they would then show that, of course. So that's another thing to do, make sure that all the assets actually are usable completely, which I think most of them are. There might be a couple of assets that I would need to replace, but yeah. So that's still, that's basically what needs to be done. So it sounds like a lot, but the biggest chunk of that is going to be the session making. And the biggest chunk of that is going to be testing them. Because with how buggy Trainz' session rules and AI can be, you do need a lot of testing for that. Although we have hit midnight in a couple of seconds. So I'm just going to read chat and then take a screenshot and then call it a night for this. So I do think that this is probably, actually hold on. I'm actually quickly going to delete those two objects because we don't need them currently. So maybe just something like that, maybe. Perhaps. The car going past, I don't know. Maybe something from this side would be better. Ideally, I'd like to have I don't know, maybe something like this. Might look good. Maybe something that's focused more on the main line and not so much on the other big bridge. Maybe just something like this. Yeah, that looks nice. Although it might look even nicer with one of these on there. Although it would have to be over on this side because I don't want it blocking the view. There we go. I think that's probably going to be the thumbnail, although maybe a little bit higher up so that you can actually see the tracks curving a little bit more. A little bit further back, so I've got space for the border. Actually, hold on, one more. Like that, hold on. One second. Oh, it doesn't matter. Okay, well, just as I went off, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Right. So, before release, apart from testing force, yes, I already answered that. On second thought, that may be a slightly different tunnel after all, but it sure reminded me of it. And apart from all the sessions, is it also enough clearance for locomotives? Oh, that was referring to this over here. Well, let's have a look. If I have a look for Mountain, the PRR US RA 1. Hold on, this is a little finicky. Yeah, look, it does fit actually. There is enough clearance. There's a good bit of clearance there as well, in fact. Good shot though, although a little loud. Ooh, although maybe there wouldn't be enough space for... that's a good point. Actually no, this one has enough clearance as well. Good, great. Okay, so I'll save once more. Rechat. For locomotives, I think just about is a bit risky. I mean, loading gauges are quite, well, quite strict. You've got the loading gauge and that's the clearance you have to have. Stuff outside of that, well, if a train's bigger than the loading gauge, it's not allowed to run. So, right, UP big boy, that's not going to go in here. All it takes is a slightly wider train, but loading gauge. Yeah. Buster, if you were a frog, would you rather ribbit or croak? Ribbit for sure. Sure, it's grammar. Nobody likes croaker. Oh, I think I like him. Rabbit is rock. I don't know. Of course, we'd still like you. That's stream title. Originally I had it with 2 L's, but then I thought that might look like a spelling mistake. So yeah, so yesterday's failed stream that didn't happen, I had 2 L's, but then I added another third L so that it looks less like a spelling mistake. Oh, midnight with a car going past. No, but I didn't get one. Should I just have the well car and zipline on there? Well cars are enough in this case. Though I thought you were a doctor in the High School Musical. Crooker, I was MC later, indeed. Hey, Sharda is also clearance. You'll get your count down later. Good. Yeah, you're the train expert, so I'll trust you. I don't think I would call myself an expert, because an expert implies that I know pretty much everything there is to know on a subject, but I know enough about trains to know that I don't know anywhere near everything about them. So, yeah, I wouldn't call myself an expert. Because there is that curve, I forget what it's called, where you get, where with knowledge you get confidence, and then so in the beginning your lack of confidence matches your lack of knowledge, but then as you gain knowledge, your confidence grows faster to a point where you know enough to feel confident that you know a lot, but you don't know enough to be aware how much you don't know. And so at that point, that's where you get people who tend to call themselves experts, or who tend to act like experts on a subject, even though they just don't know enough to know that they don't know that much at all. So I know enough about trains to know that there's a lot I don't know. So if that makes sense. Ah, you remember me asking about the LAs. Huh. LAs? LSs, sorry? Ls. Oh, right, the Ls. Yeah, I do remember you asking about the Ls in the stream title. Now then, was very fun today. Still unfortunate that this system didn't happen, but I'm glad, but happy to work out today. Yeah, I think we got a good bit done today. Trained genius then. Ha. Trevithick. Richard Trevithick was a train genius. Confidentiality curve? No. Anyway, good night. See you later today. Well, see your messages later today. Bye-bye and good night.